right, folks, grab a seat and pour your drink neat as Whiskers and Whiskeys presents Tales of the Trophies, Season 5, Best of the Rest. I'm Mike with EJ. How's it going, pal?
It's going great. The football gods can be very fickle.
Very,
I had
very
a
fickle.
lovely Saturday and then not so great today.
They give it, then they take it. Yeah.
But you know what? It's a great day
Mm-hmm.
because we will get to our weekend wrapped up in a second.
Mm-hmm.
It has been a long time since we've had a guest.
A hot minute.
It's been a
Hot
hot
minute.
minute. And we have a lovely guest, a reoccurring guest.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you guys remember, this lovely guest, last time they were on, were having a draft on who's the most attractive NFL head coaches, and it was a blast. So, Marin, welcome back.
Welcome back to the pod, Marin.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here. I feel like I've leveled up from drafting head coaches based on looks to actually talking about some football and my experience at my school too. So I'm very excited and very honored to be here. So thank you for inviting me back.
We are thrilled to have you here. It's great. As we've been going through this season 5, obviously we've been doing the spotlight on the smaller schools. What better way to do that and get some real insight? Because we've been saying the challenge of the insight is like having people that know it, and you as a JMU alum, just perfect, like perfect for the occasion. Like the whole friendship's been worth it just for this moment here. So
I mean, that's why we became friends
mhm.
because this day was going to come.
One
And
day we'd cash this in. Yep. Yep.
yes, and I love talking all things JMU, so I am here for it.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, and for our listeners, it was really funny because when I was doing this research, obviously it's small schools. Honestly, I don't even know if I really thought about it in the moment, but when I looked back at the schedule and was like, okay, what's coming up? I was like, oh, like this makes a ton of sense. It's JMU. I have to have Marin on. And you have been asking about coming when we were going to do another episode with like drafting. Actually, we should do college coaches because there's even more
That's
to
true.
choose from, and there's probably a lot of people we don't even like think about that could make your guys' list. But it was definitely like, hey, Marin, talk about this. What do you think about Old Dominion? And it was like, oh, whatever. And then it was like, oh, do you know they have a trophy? And like your excitement for us just to talk about JMU shocked me. But you still didn't quite connect that I was going to have you on because even your husband has been on talking about his alma mater when we've
Yes.
had trophies about Louisville. So it was quite like the funny interaction because then it was like, do you want to come on?
Yes, once I finally put two and two together, I truly like my adrenaline just shot through my system and I was like, "Oh my gosh, they're actually asking me on to like talk about JMU and talk about football." I was like, "Wow, I thought the next time I was going to be on it was going to be another draft on quarterbacks or another group of coaches or something, which we have been plugging for, but I'm yes, I'm very excited for this one as well." So,
Well, before actually, this is all just kind of perfection here. Before we get into the rivalry and the trophy, let's talk about just some of the college football that happened this last weekend.
Yeah.
Mike and I had fantastic bounce backs. Both went 3-0 with our picks. Even other picks that we just like bet and liked pretty much all hit.
Yeah.
And Marin, let me ask you about your weekend of college football because it was said your alma mater against your husband's alma mater, which ended up being his biscuit play.
yeah, I know. I have to give Jimmy a shout out. He went 4 for 4, as he told me. And of course, JMU was his biscuit. But I also am like kind of annoyed at him because he does this thing when he bets against his schools that he
Yeah.
wants to win. So
Oh
when he
yeah.
told me he
Yeah.
bet on JMU, I was like, really? Really? I was like, I know why you're doing this. So yes, watching the game together was interesting because I mean, I will say neither team looked great out the gate. JMU just got they were able to score, but then Louisville, they were finally able to get themselves together second half and ended up winning. So it didn't go in my favor, but it was funny because like I would cheer if JMU did something well, and then Jimmy would be yelling at whatever player. And then if Louisville, when they got like a turnover or Isaiah Brown, I think like whenever he ran the touchdown back, I was screaming at the TV and Jimmy's cheering. So it was a loud game, if you will. So yes, unfortunately, Jamie did not get the win, but I guess if Jimmy can get his biscuit in this, I guess that works for him, but
Good
whatever.
teams win, great teams cover. That's what I have to say about that. So
You know what the funny thing is, though? So as soon as he had messaged me. Oh, that's what it was. So last week he got one right, and I thought he got zero right. We blame our listener Kyle Cooper because he can't math well, and I just trusted his math and had to like even correct my Instagram post, which lesson learned. But then I immediately, because I'm sick and I look ahead always to see which games I like the next week, immediately messaged him. I was like, because yeah, it's well known that he always just bets against Louisville so that he's happy if they cover, even if they lose or if they win.
There is nothing like a good emotional hedge. I do not hold that against him at all. Like I love me a good emotional hedge.
So I like messaged him immediately. He was like, "Oh, so you're taking JMU, right?" And he's like, "Absolutely." And then I was actually, because they've been in the conversation for being potentially the playoff team from the group of five, like they're in that kind of pool of teams, maybe 3 or 4 teams that have a chance. So I actually texted him like legitimately because I was thinking about making it a biscuit play too. In his defense, I was actually asking, I was like, "Do you actually think Louisville's going to cover or not going to cover, or are you just playing your game?" And he actually had a little bit of a hesitation, like legitimate hesitation. So I will say it wasn't just his pure emotional hedge.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I will say, I think that I mean, like you said, they do have like a lot of potential and everything. And so it's kind of like you do stop and think about it. But some, then again, didn't go our way, but I know that you're just trying to give Jimmy some credit, but I, again, still gave him a lot of crap for, for betting how he did, but it's okay. Not
And
salty at all.
have you guys gone, because I know you guys have gone to Louisville, Virginia games, because they play in the same conference. Your parents went to Virginia, so they are Cavaliers fans. Have you guys been to a JMU Louisville game?
We have not. So
Okay.
this is, well, to my knowledge, this is actually only the second time we have ever played Louisville.
Okay. I couldn't remember if it was just UVA games.
Yeah, and so actually funny, both games have been in Louisville, and
Okay.
we are actually going to Louisville for Jimmy's best friend's wedding this upcoming weekend. So I was like, we can't go back to back weekends. It's too much. So the couch worked. But no, we've been to a few Louisville games. So I do cheer for them and everything. It was tough to root against them when they played UVA, especially since I grew up with that. But I do like them, just not when they play JMU. So
Yeah,
That's fair.
that is fair. That's very fair. That's good that you're able to, that's an important thing to settle on as a couple, right? You got to make sure, there's so much to have conflict over. That's a
Yeah.
nice thing. Just get that out of the way. As I was watching Forrest Gump last night, one less thing, to worry about.
Yep. Kelly and I will have this at the end of the NFL season with the Steelers coming to Detroit. So yeah, that'll be little tense
Except
because
you
she
guys
screams at me for taking her fantasy football players in the drafts ahead of her. So I can only imagine how she's going to feel potentially at the end of the year with
Well,
that
the
game.
difference there is that you guys might have something to play for, whereas the Steelers will be. Well, I guess we might be playing for like a better draft pick, but it's probably going to be 9-8 again. And yeah, never
Any
been. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead. Yeah, I was
any
going to
any
rap more
other
about the Steelers, but I don't want to. So
Any other college games that you want to talk about? So obviously we bounced back just as our pick'em, which was great. The Cy Hawk Trophy was one that I had circled pretty early on. Had luckily gotten the spread at a good number because I was on it pretty early on, which ended up being a classic. That Iowa State finally won at home for the first time in like 14 years in this rivalry. So that was great for them. There's some really good football games. Was there any Stark Vegas? That was one that
That was
you
it.
you
Yeah.
pulled the trigger on, and I kind of liked as like I bet on but didn't pick.
Yeah.
Any games that kind of
Well, in the same vein of JMU Louisville, for me, like USF, man. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are giving flack to Billy Napier and the Gators, but like if you EJ were a little harsh on them,
me.
but
Yep.
like listen,
It's not
I
that I thought that UCF was a bad loss. It's just it's Florida. He was already on the
yeah,
hot seat. Everything was supposed to be
okay,
this year was supposed to be Lagway's Heisman year, and that's
fair.
how. Yeah, that's
But
why. Yeah,
and maybe it's just because Bama almost lost to USF the past 2 years. But like I dare someone, like if you're laughing at Florida, I can't believe I'm sticking up for the Florida Gators right now. Like I'm hesitant to even do this, but like I dare you. Like if you're laughing at the Florida Gators right now, call up your favorite school's athletic director and ask them to put USF on the schedule because you're not going to have a good time. Like they are dogs. They are like incredible defense. Like, and that is a program that's like for sure on the rise. And I mean, yeah, I knew it was gonna be tough. I didn't bet it because I was like, well, Lagway, like he's super talented. Like maybe they'll be able to get done. Like I just wasn't sure, so I stayed away. But like they're not a good time. They're
yeah.
actually zero fun to play against, especially if you're a big school. And I don't know, man. It seems like just college football is going really well in Florida right now because between Florida State, Miami having awesome week ones, and then what happened with USF, like Florida down, like Florida's the fourth best team in the state right now. I don't know, but they could be the ones that end up making the playoff, is what I'm saying. Like, I think JMU
Is
certainly is a contender, but USF, man, you gotta look at them real close right now.
isn't it crazy that that USF is so they're just doing like that Grim Reaper emoji, where it
Yeah,
has like the doors.
yeah.
And because you're talking about how Florida's having this great the state of Florida's having this great college football season so far. Well, next on the checklist for UC or USF is Miami.
Yeah,
And I can guarantee you, Miami wants nothing to do.
not a damn thing. Like the Bulls are a pain in the ass. Like they are terrible to play against. Yeah, I don't know how much money they get paid for going to go and screw up team season and like blow
Yeah.
their morale, but it was not fun playing them the past two. I mean, 2 years ago, I was like, okay, bad Bama year, like this isn't great. And then last year, when DeBoer, first season, I'm like, well, shit. Like we almost lost that game. Like Bama came very close. They finally made a change at right tackle specifically and started running over that guy and everything worked. But yeah, they're not fun. They're no fun to play against. I do not want to see them on my favorite team schedule ever again.
Marin, did you catch any other football games? Obviously I know Jimmy probably has a lot of games on when he can, but did you pay attention to any other games beside that one?
So I watched the end of the UVA NC
Oh.
State game.
Mm.
So yes, yeah. I mean, if you ask my parents and specifically my dad, and he's like, "We're going to be horrible this year," blah blah blah, and, all of that. So I mean, I don't know. I think that they did like okay, at least the
Yeah.
parts that I saw. I mean, but
Came right
it
down to the
is,
end, right? An
Yeah.
interception
yeah,
right on the yeah.
yeah. I mean, again, endings always can kill you. But then I will say, so Jimmy may or may not have been painting our guest bathroom also on Saturday, and I was trying to get stuff done
Oh,
around the house. He was watching football on his phone. I'm
that's
Sure.
also going to 100% say that. So he definitely still watched them. But I caught the end of who was Baylor playing?
Oh, the other you caught like two of the most exciting
yeah.
games, SMU. So Baylor
Yeah.
SMU went
Yes.
to double overtime.
Yeah.
Well, he was yelling about them, so I was like, "Oh, well, let me go see what's going on."
That's
Um,
that's a
but that
sneaky
that was crazy. That
yes.
was
Oh yeah,
yeah.
because he took Baylor. That was one of his picks.
Ah, yes, that's
That's why he
right.
was screaming.
And honestly though, that's a pro move. Like I do that too, so that like especially with me with the kids running around, like it is a pro move to like do something productive. Like I cleaned out my garage and had the games on my phone because like you're doing something, but you're also watching the great. It like that is an elite move as a father and a husband
I was
to
gonna
like have the
say
game
it
on the
is
phone
not the
and do
father
something
part. It is
productive.
the elite move for the husband. It is the only move for the husband because if you are planted on the couch saying it's Saturday, and my job has nothing to do with sports, yeah, that's a tough call. So you
Yeah,
almost have to play
have to
that
do
pro
it.
mode.
Have to do it.
Pro
Yeah.
mode.
Uh, Border War was also incredible. I'll just throw that out there. Kansas, Missouri. That was a very, very fun game to watch.
Yeah, listener Dave went all the way. So Dave, who is a longtime listener, the one that I went to Oregon with, maybe gonna be attending another game with him this year. Maybe.
Fun.
You know me.
And he went all the way to St. Louis. So we went to St. Louis.
Oh my
Dave, you're
God.
listening to this, I know. You went to St. Louis, watched your Giants play the Cardinals, and told me about this weeks ago, and it was like awesome because it's a rivalry we talked about
Yeah.
on the podcast before. And he's like, I'm a Brendan Carr. I'm going out to Columbia. I'm going to this Missouri, Kansas, and I will say, to be fair, because I just because I'm me, I looked up the prices to tickets, and it was about 200 to get in, which is good. It should be
Yeah.
right. It's a heated rivalry that was on a hiatus, I believe. This is the first time in a few years that they had played each other. They're in separate conferences, especially with Missouri. It can be finicky on being in the SEC and actually scheduling someone good, unless you're a team like Alabama. There's a few
Thank you.
teams that have done
Thank you.
that. Most of them avoid it, but he went and tailgated, and then just opted, because he wasn't a fan and just kind of by himself went to a bar, like tailgated with everyone in Columbia, and went to a bar to watch the game. But he even texted me afterwards. He's like, I should have just paid for a ticket because it was kind of a classic game
Yeah.
between.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, that was one I was gonna bet too, because I'm high on Mizzou. Or did bet that. I did bet
Yeah,
Mizzou.
that was one of your
Yeah.
picks.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, look at me. Good for me. Yeah,
look at me.
that's right. There we go. Good for me. That's right. I did bet Mizzou. Yeah. All right. There we go. What was the other one I stayed away from? I don't know. I can't remember.
Also, what's really hilarious is I learned very quickly with Mike. So he was definitely on the betting train before I was, and I remember asking him because typically especially with the pick'em, I usually just bet. Definitely, usually the three games I choose, and then maybe I try to limit myself to just a couple after that, just to make sure that my money like lasts. I've done a really poor job of making it last the last few years. And I remember asking Mike one day, and he pulled up like almost like a spreadsheet, and it was like,
Notes app.
yeah, it was his notes, and it was like 10 games, and I was like, wow, this is what you're playing. He's like, this is just like the noon time slot.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, oh, okay,
I only, yeah, I had 9 plays this weekend because I just after last
wow,
week I'm like,
just a total.
yeah, I know. I need to reassess things. So, but now I'm at a bad spot because I went 8-1. So like now I'm just way overconfident heading into week 3, and that's a problem. So I got bailed out by some NFL picks today. Like things didn't go great, but things went like okay. So that's a problem too. So
So now here's a real question.
yeah.
I have a feeling that Jimmy has sent you a promo to create an account so that he could probably get like a bonus money. So Marin, do you have an account with any of the sports books, and have you like actually officially ever placed a bet?
I think he sent me one time. But
That's pretty good.
I
Yeah, that's actually pretty
don't
good.
I don't have an account. I
Okay.
don't participate in that. Obviously Jimmy definitely does. I think he also, I know, doesn't tell me all of his bets that he places
Yeah,
because
No chance.
can't do
I'm
that.
sure
Yeah.
just like Kara and Kelly are probably like, how much money are you spending? How much money did you make? What are we using this money for?
Right.
Like that's where I start to go. And so I think he tries to keep quiet, but then sometimes when we're watching, I mean, it can be college, NFL, he's like, "Oh, I need this person to score," or and a lot of times if it's NFL, I'm like, "Oh, for fantasy," and he'll be like, "No, for like, a parlay or, for this bet, I need this, this, and this to hit," and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh," I'm like. I sometimes can't understand. You lose your like house keys like it's your job, but you can remember the like eight things in this bet that need to hit.
Yeah.
Locked
Oh yeah.
in.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I will say, Mike, I give you a lot of credit. I can appreciate a good spreadsheet to like keep you organized and like keep on top of that. So, and I mean, I know it's fun for you guys and it's a lot of conversation for you. It's just sometimes like part of my brain that I'm like, I don't understand.
It's
I get
on.
the basics.
I have to do it. I have to write it all down so then I can put it in because like when I'm researching stuff, like I have to like put it all in there in order of when the games are played so that like I can go into the app then and put all the bets in because it's like I can't just I like that and then go put it in because then I'll forget. I'll be like, oh, did I put, and then I gotta scroll and see if I put in the bet. Can't do that. So yeah, I try to consolidate everything in the notes app and then place it all together and
You're not helping your cause.
then put it down. Well,
Because
hey,
we're talking about
I
I
won
gotta
this week.
scroll through the 30 picks I got, I gotta scroll through the 30 different bets just to see if I place this one bet.
Today was a little crazy. The touchdown score parlays really got away from me today.
That I can't do it. I have not placed an NFL bet yet. Actually, did I? No, I don't think I did. I've not placed an NFL bet because last season, legitimately. So I this is full disclosure. What I try to do is it depends. Last year, I think I had a buffer from the following season, and I tried not to spend it on other sports after football ended. But typically, I try to start the season with like say between $100 and $200, and I just tell myself, listen, this is it, and like do not spend any more than this. Obviously, you hope to like really for me just to have fun and keep it
Yeah,
in there, and it just sits
set
right. Like
limits. That's what
I'm
they say.
yeah,
In the one of the disclaimers, like responsible gambling, set
right.
limits. Don't go over limits. Yeah,
And I don't have any grandiose like ideas that I'm gonna take that from 100 to 1,000 and cash out. Like I'm really just doing this so that I have something fun to do. It makes me
yeah.
pay a little bit more attention. But my downfall, because I'll do like have a good day in college and then it's Sunday, right? And of course there's all sorts of things, and it's in the NFL it's hard to kind of pick spreads because they're not very big and most games are close, and it's kind of tough to bet on spreads. So the fun thing is for people to bet on like player touchdowns and player receiving yards and things of that nature, right? And then I literally just lose everything I won.
Oh yeah.
I think last year I honestly was done with the $200 within and now I will say in my defense, I think 100 of that was from the year before, so I only put an extra,
Hmm.
but I was done within like 4 weeks, and I
Yeah.
was like, I can't do this again because so this year I have not bet on the NFL, and through 2 weeks of college football I am up $13.
Yeah. There we
So
go.
All right,
trying to
EJ.
make this, and this year I only put 100 in, so that's why I'm even like being more stingy with like what I'm doing, what I'm betting. But it's hard because because it gets tantalizing, right? It's like, oh, I only need three things to happen in a game and I triple my money. I get five times my money, right?
Yeah.
No, there's
Of
always
course.
one thing. One dude
Yeah.
gets hurt. Kittle got hurt, right? How many
Yeah.
people
Well,
bet
he
Kittle to
scored.
do
He
something?
scored.
Oh, so he did get
score.
his.
Yeah.
He did
He
get that in
scored.
before he got hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Xavier Worthy is the better one who just
Oh,
got
he's on
killed
my
by
fantasy
Travis
team.
Kelce.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was great. Zero
Yeah.
points.
Yeah. Yeah. He's that was, but a lot of books smart on the books too. Like refund Xavier Worthy because like you got to keep the people coming back. Like you
Sure.
can't just have everyone get all pissed.
Well,
Like
they tease you, Marin. They say, "Hey, listen, you get a 50% bonus this week if you bet this game. Oh, you wanna parlay? Listen, this first one, it's on us. Up to we'll give you $10 back. Don't worry about it." And it's like for me, it's like, well, of course I'm going to win this bet, right? I got a good read on this game. Give me that extra little, like 5, 10, 15
yeah.
bucks to the bet I'm already going to place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They win.
The one
House
now
wins.
is the parlay builder where you get an extra 5% for every extra 5% bonus for every leg that you add. up to 12 teams.
which
You got to
which
do that.
basically just decreases drastically the likelihood it's going to hit. But all
Yeah.
we see is an extra 15%. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'll add 4 to money line. Like they're certainly are going to win this game against
Nope.
USF. No. Yeah.
Oh, I have heard Jimmy and Kyle when some of these promos like come out, they'll be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, did you get this or something?"
Yeah.
And then when I hear that, I'll be like, "So Jimmy, like, what are you betting? Or like, how much did you put in, this week or something?" And he always starts off with like, "Oh, well, there's this offer," or like, "Well, there, like." I'm
Oh
like, I'm
yeah.
not listening to that part. I'm listening to the second part
Yeah.
you're saying. So,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they always try to get you, and it's always like that one extra one, which like. I mean, if I were, that's like, oh yeah, you can do one more, like just that little out. Yeah, definitely. And then that's how you get it.
Yeah.
Because when you hit it, Marin, that's the problem.
That's
Oh
Is
gosh.
you
mhm.
hit it the one time and you're invincible, and it's such a feeling to hit it. Like I hit one this week. All three of my picks were right. I put them in a parlay and took $5 to like 45, and it was like, yes. And
It's
guess
the
what?
best.
It's pulling me in next week, right?
It's the
Because I'm gonna
best.
do the same thing again,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm probably not gonna hit it, right? That's how it works.
But
Don't tell yourself
you
that.
still come back. So
Yeah, dude. And you're gonna hit it. Don't worry. We're gonna
See,
bankrupt Vegas. Like
and
that's
there's
someone's
such
got
a
to do it.
terrible like
Yeah.
support system. It's like a positive like male support system when it comes to bets, but it's also like a negative one because
Yeah.
dude, no, you got it. It's just a bad week. Like you said, the players were your picks were right. The players were wrong.
Last year, for sure, the players were just idiots, bunch of knuckleheads. So yeah,
Okay, well, I guarantee Marin never thought she was going to talk this long about this kind of topic. So why don't we
I'm
get
just,
to
I'm
our
very proud. I
rivalry?
just like had a few things to say.
it was
So,
great. That was great. Great. That was
Exactly.
the perspective we need.
Yes, that's what we needed. All right. So we've already kind of teased it. We talked about it. The rivalry we're talking about today is the Royal Rivalry game played, and that's going to get me, especially because listeners, Mike and I both have taken shots previous to this, and I'm also drinking a beer. So rivalry is going to probably get increasingly tough for me to say. So if I slow it down, it's because of that reason. But the Royal Rivalry game is played between James Madison University, the Dukes, and the Old Dominion Monarchs. And Marin is an alumni, if you haven't gotten it yet, as an alum of JMU. That's what we're talking about today. So before we start, Marin, do you know what this trophy looks like?
so I will say I did have to Google it, but I do
Okay.
know what it looks like. So,
Okay. Mike,
No,
what? So you don't get a guess, Marin. That's
okay.
fine. That's fair. Mike, I'm gonna guess you don't know. Do you know what this trophy
no,
looks
no
like?
idea. No idea.
What would your guesses be to what this trophy would look like?
Yeah, two things come to mind. One is like a king's crown, like similar to what the JMU Duke mascot has, like that type of crown that he has that like has a little bit like red velvet and then like the 4 pieces. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Right on the shirt there. Yeah, perfect. Yes, just
Got it
like
on
that.
for you.
That's exactly what I think it looks like. Or it could be like a scepter and like the ball that like the I don't know what that means. Like I don't know the meaning behind those things. But yeah, whenever someone's coordinated, they're holding like a little scepter that has a little cross on top, or a ball with a little cross on top and then a scepter. So like that could be it too. And especially since last weekend we had double trophy. I was like, oh man, that's that I could see those things being, especially when we're talking about the royal rivalry. That's my guess. One of those two things.
You know what? I want to take credit for like keeping. I wish I could take credit for keeping that little bug like that I planned to have a game that wasn't played that week early on that had two trophies to keep that bug in your head, like that thought.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it's there. That was not intentional. I wish it was because it would be very clever. But yeah, you never know with these. This now we're getting into like wild card season,
Yeah.
right? Like these are like sometimes unsanctioned trophies. We don't know. But we will get to the trophy in a little bit. Let's talk about the history of this rivalry. So, the first matchup was in 2011.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Old Dominion won the game 23-20 and won the first two games in the series between them, and that was at the FCS level. So both of them were still at the FCS level. However, JMU has won the last three games. So the series overall is JMU leads 3-2. So I will say, when it comes to this rivalry, this was one where the trophy drew my eye because we still have quite a few options that we have not exhausted. Even once we finish this season, we have not exhausted the list of rivalry trophies still out in college football, which is great because we love doing this and we will continue to. However, it was not only the trophy that drew my eye for this rivalry, but also the potential for this rivalry, which we will talk about in a little bit. But now it's time for the small school spotlight. And what better than to do this research than to have someone that actually went to the school and can give us the actual insight, not just me doing Google searches and sometimes using that good old chat GPT and, AI, which is smarter than all of us. I can actually get the information directly from the source, someone that has not only been to Harrisonburg, which is just a long name. It should just be like Harrisburg or Harrison. I don't know what Harrisonburg, but has also attended many.
Harrison? Like, why would a city be named Harrison? Like,
Why
I can
not
see
Harrison?
Harrison City, but
Yeah,
like, just
yeah, I could just be
Harrison?
Harrison. Yeah, Harrison.
That's lame.
What,
You
what?
gotta toss the burger on the end.
Ville.
Ville,
Could it be a Ville?
perhaps.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could be Ville. Yeah,
it could be a Ville.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Marin, why don't you talk
Harrison.
to us a little bit about just some cool, unique things about JMU, some cool, unique things, some like football traditions that you experienced, um, anything really. The bar to go to if people are going to go to a game. The stadium actually looks pretty nice, and it's probably only going to get nicer now that they've gotten bumped up, been successful. Yeah, if someone's heading to Harrisburg to the mountains of Virginia, just tell us what they're going to be in store for.
Yeah, I mean, so it's funny because when you asked me to do this, I was like, oh yeah, I have a ton of stuff. And I started listing it out and I was like, I'm pretty sure all of this is correct. Because I know you guys do your research and you have like dates and everything. So I did have to like check myself, but I was actually very proud that I did get some of these things corrected. Some years and dates I had to double check.
Some
But
of these
yes,
football games were a bit fuzzy.
you know, we'll get into that.
One of the few schools that parties so hard that there's a riot, and there's a full scale riot gear, riot police showing up. So yeah, I get it. There is a lot of partying that
Yeah.
can help, that can impact the memory. So yeah.
Yeah, just a few. But yeah, so JMU is in Harrisonburg, Virginia. So it's like 2-ish hours outside of DC, if you're wondering, in the Shenandoah Valley. It's in Rockingham County, and Harrisonburg is known as the Friendly City, apparently. But it is definitely a college town, if you will. There's actually another college that is also in Harrisonburg. It is Eastern Mennonite University, or EMU. It's kind of on the other side of Harrisonburg, much smaller. But
Much more
we've
Amish, I can imagine. Yeah.
I mean, a little bit. I will say, like, we did know a few people that played sports over there and would like come visit because they were had friends at JMU too. So yeah, it was definitely could be an interesting crowd depending on who, who you saw from there.
Kind of
But
like
A Mennonite college.
church building. Like what?
I had never even heard of that
Yeah,
before.
no.
yes, it's a D3 school, so I know that they have a pretty good, I think like baseball team. I'm trying to think. We knew of our dorm. There were a few guys that knew a couple guys on the baseball team, so that's how we ended up knowing them. So
And if I'm correct with Mennonites, because there's actually an Amish town in Indiana, Shipshewana, which is right at the west side of Michigan, which I don't know if that makes it like central to western part of Indiana, but right across the border. So when my mom used to live over on the west side, we it's only about maybe an hour down. But if you guys haven't been to an Amish market, it's awesome, right? Like you can get some like fantastic food.
Totally.
The wooden like chair, like the things that they build with like wood is incredible. But Mennonites are live a similar life to Amish, but they do allow electronics, right? Is that like the major difference? If I'm correct, you guys are giving me blank stares. No idea.
I think so, but
Think
I
that's
also
what
am
it
not
is.
100%.
That sounds, I mean, I would imagine if they have a university in the year of 2025 that they probably do allow electricity. But I would also, now I'm very curious about Eastern Mennonite
Okay.
University. So,
The main difference is that Amish communities practice extreme separation from the modern world, avoiding most technology and electricity, while Mennonites are more flexible, embracing modern technology like cars and cell phones to a varying degrees, allowing for greater integration into mainstream society and higher education. So it sounds like that's probably not
Okay,
the only university or college that is Mennonite focused. So please continue.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
The more you
Well,
know.
I didn't know that either. So another fun fact actually about with JMU, the campus is actually divided by a major interstate. 81 runs through campus essentially. It was not always designed like that. To be honest, I actually forgot to look up what year it actually was. We called it East Campus. So it wasn't always like that, but there is a bridge that you can either walk over or cars or like the buses could do shuttles through, or there is what we call Duke Dog Alley that goes underneath that you can also walk to get to the other side. So we have a highway that runs through the middle of our campus. So
that's pretty good. Probably don't want to find multiple ways to avoid crossing a highway to, if you're drunk stumbling back from the bar, just like 6 lanes of traffic to dodge through. Yeah.
Yeah, just go into the dark tunnel, right?
Yeah.
Here's your
it
options:
was
get hit by a car or get mugged in this dark tunnel.
it is like a light and bright and like it's painted. It has the Duke Dog all in it. Like so it's not as scary as it like actually
Sure.
sounds of making it an
Sure.
alley
Yeah.
too. So
Some trolls down there. You got to pay the toll troll.
So let's see. Oh, so JMU actually started, so it was founded in 1908, and it was actually the state normal and industrial school for women at Harrisonburg, was how it was originally founded. In 1938, they actually made it into Madison College, was what it was called, and it was only for women as well. So even to this day, JMU is actually really well known for their education program or to make teachers, which is why I went there. And so that was kind of where it stemmed from, since it started out mainly as a women's college. And then in 1966 was when men were able to be residents and enroll in classes. And then in 1977 was actually when it switched from Madison College to James Madison University, what we know today. A little bit on the football side, we have won two national championships. One in 2004. It was Division One, but it was the Double A against University of Montana. And then in 2016, which I will
Yes.
say, my sister and I actually attended that game in Frisco, right? Frisco, Texas. And we
right, yeah.
played Youngstown State and beat them there. So that was actually a really cool experience to go and see that. And it was actually funny because, Mike, you have alluded to JMU is known for some good parties.
Yeah.
And so I remember in the stadium we were getting beer, and one of the guys, he was like, "We were not prepared for you all to come to this stadium," and it was like the first quarter too, and I was like, "Who did not do their research and like have enough beer for us? Like, come on." But it was
Uh,
still a fantastic experience. So that was definitely a lot of fun.
Youngstown State in 2016, was that EJ? Was that what's his face? Who's buddies with or he's related to the Harbaughs through marriage. Oh, what's his name? Was the coach there at the time? Oh man, who's the coach back then? Who? Because Youngstown State had a good coach. Um,
I mean, yeah, they went to so this was oh no, this is not who you're thinking of. Oh, I mean, maybe it is, but this is a very well known guy. I had no idea this is who it was. Good old Fo Pelini. Good old
yeah,
Bo Pelini
Polini.
from yeah.
That's
He
right.
was a
Yes.
Nebraska head coach and had failed, and obviously went down there and had some success. Not the ultimate success, but
Hey,
That's
well, making
right.
it that far, I mean, I feel like that's still some success there.
no, yeah, no. And this is a Kurt Signetti podcast,
This
and
is a very pro Kurt Signe
yeah, yeah,
podcast.
that
Yeah.
dude is the biggest asshole in like the most fun way when he's not playing your team.
Hmm. That's fair.
So then so he parlayed those like that success right at JMU to now go to Indiana and then
Yes.
immediately went to a playoff. So that guy's just a winner. But that's awesome. I didn't realize you went to
Hmm.
Frisco. I feel like I would have 2016 would have known you then, right?
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like that was probably early on
Yeah.
for that. Yeah, because I guess that would have been mine and Kelly's like second year teaching
Mm.
together
Okay.
ish, I guess. Um, but yeah, it was great. I mean, even like the planes that were going down there had like purple and gold on the inside and
Yeah.
like I mean, now JMU has gotten a lot more recognition and like obviously the football program definitely has, but I mean to make it that far it was like you would think that we were going to the Super Bowl too and
Oh
it
hell
was
yeah.
so much fun to see like alumni and current students and my brother Will actually went to JMU and but my sister she had a friend from high school who actually was on the football team
Ah,
when they went there and everything too so it was just like fun to see just like different parts of your life kind of all there and you were just like fully decked out purple and gold like ready to cheer them on because that was our Super Bowl so it was definitely a
Hell
lot of
yeah.
fun so
also,
yeah.
shout out to colleges that have like a 2-to-1 or like 3-to-4 ratio of women to men.
Oh
Because
yeah.
that's how Mercyhurst was. It was like because that was initially an all women's college until probably around the same time when they started to integrate men into the university. But when I went there, and I don't even know why how I found out about this, but it was like a solid like high 60s, like high 60% women to men, which worked out in my favor, which was great. Obviously for you, probably not so much because there's just a bunch of women there, but definitely was something I knew about heading onto campus. So it's interesting
Yeah,
that JMU was
as a
similar.
lad, I wish I would have looked at that a little bit because my school was a historically all male school.
Bunch of dudes.
Bunch of dudes. I mean, there's a lot of chicks there by that time, but it was probably pretty evened out by that point. But it was also one of like the like ugliest schools, like ranked like one of the ugliest. And then there's like Duquesne right down the road, which is like one of the hottest. So I kind of screwed that one up. Should have gone with my buddies to Duquesne, or at least
Duquesne?
considered it. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude, Duquesne. A lot of nurses, a lot of speech pathologists, all those good majors. So, yeah.
And it's also like, sorry, I mean, my wife doesn't listen to this, and I don't think yours does either. But it's also one of the funniest things when you see any kind of footage from like Southern schools or
Oh,
like Arizona State or something. It's
well,
just
they're all
like,
imported now. Like the SEC just like Alabama just imports them. So, yeah, it's just yeah, it's silly. It's silly now. Yeah, my sister graduated with a guy that went to South Carolina. I was like, yeah, you're like they're a family friend too. It was after his freshman year, and like all he's wearing polos and like khakis now, and I'm like, hell yeah, dude, good for you, good, very good for you. So,
all right, sorry, continue. JMU.
That's okay.
This
Yes,
is on
it
top.
was. It was. I mean, it
It's on top.
was like slightly challenging on like my end of it.
Sure.
But
You made the most of it. Yeah.
and you do. I mean, I
Listen,
made some great girlfriends there,
yes.
so
And then you
that's
went home and found a high school sweetheart that wasn't your high school sweetheart, but was a fellow high school alum.
yes. Life is just funny how it works out.
There
That's
you go.
right. That's right.
That's right.
So actually funny because when this is leading into my next point, but when we were traveling, Haley and I were packing, and I'm like, "Oh, you need to pack streamers," and she was like, "Streamers, why?" And so something that we do at football games is when we score a touchdown, we throw purple and gold streamers in the stands, and
Nice.
it's home or away. And I mean, it's not like a few. I mean, like especially the first one when you see it. I mean, it looks like it's New Year's Eve in Times Square. I mean, it is like streamers everywhere, like people bring them in. So I think that that's a fun tradition that we have, and I mean has been there ever since I have known it and continues to as well. I mean, I even
I don't
saw.
think I've seen that anywhere else.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, if you look like the Louisville game this past weekend when I was watching it, they'll show the crowd really briefly, and you have to like know that you're looking for it. But like I saw some being thrown,
Oh,
and I was like, yes.
you know what? A couple of years ago, when game day went to JMU,
Mhm.
it may have been 2016 because Corso was there and Corso walked out of one of your main buildings dressed as James Madison and they just killed him with streamers just all over the place. So yeah, okay. That makes a lot more sense now because I was like, that's a lot of streamers.
Yes.
But how does one pass? So is it every touchdown or the first touchdown?
No, it's every touchdown. I mean,
How
the
does
first one is like the biggest
Okay.
one, if you will.
I was just gonna say, how does one pack and anticipate? Because what happens if you guys score like 40 points?
It's
You
good.
you need to
Yeah.
have something. Do you just pick them up off the ground? Is that like, yeah,
Yeah, so
okay.
you will literally like hold the end of the streamer that's like free and you throw the like ball one and that goes in the air and if it lands near you, you just rip it off and then usually if it just happened, you can do a second throw, but usually it's like done by then. But yeah, I mean most people would like I mean I know one time I think I brought in like two purple, two gold. But it's also kind of like you look around, or sometimes you just throw up if ones that have already been thrown out too. So I mean, if we've scored a few touchdowns, if you look, that might not be as much, but that, oh my gosh, Mike, that's so funny that you brought that up because I was going to say, like, I know with Lee Corso and all of his retirement, like, I know one of the highlights that we had was and game days come twice to
Yeah, it
JMU,
has.
also,
Yeah.
fun fact. But the first time was when he walked out, like, our quad is kind of our main area and walked out of the main building there. And yep, he was dressed up as James Madison and put on the Duke dog head and everything. But yes, but that would be why there were streamers everywhere because
Yeah.
that's one of our traditions
It
too.
was the
So
second one was a party too, because that was what that was 2 years ago, because it was Sig's last year, and
hmm
McAfee had just joined the cast, and it was like packed out. I mean, it was a party scene. Like McAfee was shooting 3 pointers, trying to like win people money. PFD commenter was there and kicked a field goal, or he missed the field goal, or kicked the field. He either missed it or hit it to like, yeah, it was like a whole. It was a
the
whole thing.
Jonas
You guys
Brothers
showed
were
up.
also there too.
I didn't even remember the Jonas Brothers, but yeah, I mean that's they just I distinctly remember both times game day went there. It was like wow, like these kids show up, so it was pretty cool.
Yes, it's so actually, so my brother was a student there the first time that they had game day. And
Yeah,
so I actually went down and stayed with him. And now we were not the like wake up and like, go sleep out there to try and get
yeah,
a spot. We were just like, we want to go up there and just like see, take some pictures, and whatnot. And so we did. And it was, I mean, like, we like got on the edge of where it was. I mean, it was packed. And even that one, the last one that was 2 years ago, I remember just watching it on TV and they showed the aerial. And I mean, the like quad where it is. It's a big area, but I mean, they were like behind the buildings that
Yeah,
are at the
yeah,
quad and like spilling over into the roads. I mean, it was massive as well. But yeah, I will say that is something that at JMU, like you, it's not like you don't have a choice, but it's like it is thrust upon you and
yeah,
you accept it with welcoming arms of like how much school spirit you have. And
yeah,
it's not like a like cheerleader in your face type school spirit. It's just like anytime someone brings it up, like you're very proud that like you went there or like you always want to talk about
oh
it. Or if
yeah,
you meet someone that's also an alumni, it's that's definitely something that you know gravitate towards or
yeah,
connect with. And I remember that there was when I graduated there was someone that's like found a saying and I could not find it, but it was something about like when you're graduating JMU, like your past 4 years, you're thankful that you like embodied the spirit that JMU is, and I'm glad to say I've lived it or something. And it's like that's 1000% it. Like
yeah,
it's just like you're just proud to be a JMU Duke and
yeah,
like you want to share it with anyone, whether it's on
yeah.
national television or on a podcast.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, like you can definitely tell like because yeah, I mean there's all the stories like I first learned about JMU from like the Spring Fest or Spring Fling or whatever and the rides, right? But like that was like it's like all right, these guys party. But then like every time you see them like you can tell like in JMU like alumni I've met like you and the other people I met down in Virginia, it's just like really, really like that's a big part of the personality. It's like, yeah, I went to JMU. It was awesome. Like, and that I think that's awesome. That's why we like doing the small school stuff that we've seen is because like it's pretty. At least all the programs we talked about so far, it's like people are really proud about that.
Yeah, definitely. And it's so funny that you say that because there's something, and it's like very small, and I don't know if it's still true today, but like there's almost an unspoken rule that when you're walking like into a building, you know how like you judge if the person's close enough behind you to hold the door open, but like at JMU, you have to hold the door open for whoever's like coming behind you. It's like truly an unspoken rule, and like I like still do it to this day, but I remember like graduating and like going out into the real world, and a few times someone held a door for me and then I saw like a JMU keychain or like something that I was
Yeah,
like, oh my
that's
gosh,
funny.
like this, it's like some of those like little things that like you don't think of.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I mean I've met some, great people along the way, like in college, out of college,
yeah,
professionally too. Like yeah, it's definitely holds a big piece of my heart. So
that's awesome. That's
That's
awesome.
what we like to call Midwest friendly. So I
Yeah,
know that you
yeah,
are not from the Midwest and
true.
DC area is not always friendly, but
yeah.
yeah, there is actually parts of the country that just, are polite and nice to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad
know.
that you got a slice of that.
Well, growing up, in Northern Virginia, it's like you sometimes get that, sometimes don't. And
Yeah.
I do realize that, but that's like the joke is like if you went to JMU, you always hold doors for
That's
people.
yeah. The Midwest nice. A little slice of the Midwest in the mountains
Yes.
of
Yes.
Appalachia.
But yes, but hey, we have a nice side, but like you guys have said, we definitely have a party side.
Yeah.
Yeah, my so Springfest is what you've been referring to, Mike. So it was funny. My freshman year was actually the last year they did that. And yeah, I had a few friends from high school
Can't
come and
imagine
visit
why.
me.
Can't imagine why.
When the riot police is called in and, people are like burning couches, which also I would just like to say that the people that were like getting in real trouble for these things were not from JMU. They came from
Oh
other
yeah, they're
schools to like
always
participate.
it's always the transplants.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Probably a Michigan
so
State person there because they are infamous for burning couches.
I was gonna say West Virginia. Like I
Okay,
mean
okay.
that's a
Yeah.
big thing at WVU too. We
Yes,
burned the
I
couches
actually,
every day, but yeah,
I
that
do think
was
it was West Virginia people that was burning a couch.
1,000%. I mean, that's just what you do there. I went
Yeah.
to West Virginia for Halloween and it was multiple couches on fire and it's just the thing. It's
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean like at JMU too, like we had like Hallow weekend. I mean, you had to have like four different costumes, like one for Thursday night, one for Friday night, one for Saturday, like one for Sunday day drinking. I mean, it was like It's yeah, and then you have like all your formals, semi-formals. I mean, tailgating for football also was really big too. I know there was a point I had graduated by then, but it had gotten really out of hand, so they've kind of like tried to tame it down some. But yeah, I mean, I mean, everyone loved a good, darty, a good, live band, I mean, I will say Harrisonburg does not have a big downtown.
Yeah.
So there wasn't like a bar scene per se, but it was mainly like house parties. I mean, like Greek life was like a decent part of the population, not like a
Yeah.
massive part or like you had to be part of it, but I mean, fraternities would have parties. So it kind of depended. I mean, I will say like I played club field hockey, and so like club sports also like we always did mixers and I mean different activity. Like there was always something that was like
Yeah.
going on, and you always knew someone, a friend of a friend that could get you in, and so, but at the same time, we still like showed up to class and still, for the most part.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna ask if that like is the way schools like that are. It's like W&J was like a lot of like Greek life was really big whenever I was there, but then like there was also like a lot of athletes, but all the parties were always at the frats. So like was that so it was like a good mix of like yeah, there's Greek life, but then like sports teams are doing stuff, and then just some people just had houses that always had parties. Like so it was like just a good mix of like on campus parties like in general? Like, was there an area that's like everyone kind of congregated to, or was it kind of like dispersed throughout? There's always something happening.
I think it was a good like mix of it. I mean, it was definitely like if you were like really into Greek life, like that was kind of like where you ran with your
Right,
parties and
right.
everything. And then, if you like I know also like the actual like teams at JMU also had, theirs, but then like club sports was also really big as well.
Yeah,
And I mean same thing with like intramurals too. So it kind of depended like what you were like into or involved with and everything. But that wasn't also to say like you couldn't intermix and everything.
yeah,
I mean, I became friends with some guys in SIGEP at JMU, and so like I, would go to some of their parties and everything. But then like there were mixers, or sometimes it was like, oh, our neighbors are having, just like a small thing. So it
yeah,
kind of, it just depended. There wasn't like one over the other. Again, this was when I went. I don't know if it's changed since then, but yeah, so I feel like it was kind of a mix of it all. I feel like so they're off of campus, like if you are getting off of Interstate 81, exit 245 is Port Republic, and you can take a right to get to campus, or you can take a left and go up the hill, and there's a ton of like apartments up there. So usually if you were somewhere off Port Republic, you were in a general good area, but then they also started expanding and having like more townhouses that were further out. So then kind of depended where people were living, and it was like,
yeah,
oh, okay, like Copper's having big parties tonight, or so then it became a like, well, where, who's hosting something tonight was
yeah.
where we're going.
Nice.
Do I got to cross the interstate to get to a party tonight, or do
Yeah.
I want to stay on my side of the interstate?
Yes, I've crossed an interstate. There's also train tracks that also run through the campus, so
Of
Good.
may or
course.
may not have crossed those.
Sounds like a great place to put a campus. Like,
Yeah,
hey, where's
right.
the major highway? Let's just put it on both sides.
Yeah,
Train tracks, great. Even
yeah,
Yep.
add it. Add to it.
yeah,
A bunch of drunk college kids,
Right.
they'll be fine.
Only thing, airport, right? Where's the airport? Just the airport on the north side, right? Just completely divide this campus.
uh, but like a smelting plant, like right in there, just something really dangerous.
Yeah.
All right, man. Do you have anything else for us with JMU?
Um, I can't think of anything. I mean, unless you guys have any other questions, but truly it was a great experience. I loved every year of it. Loved my friends that I made. Loved people that I've gotten to meet post, graduating and everything. And will forever bleed purple and gold. No matter what Jimmy tries to put up in the basement with all of his Louisville red and San Francisco red and everything, I still have some Jamie things in the basement.
Nice.
Let's shift to Old Dominion. I didn't realize where Old Dominion was. So I've always known it was in Virginia. But Mike, do you know where it's actually like what city it's actually located on? Or located
Uh,
in? Not on.
no idea.
Marin, do you know? Probably just being a Virginian.
Yes, I was gonna say I feel like this is slightly unfair. It's in Norfolk, right?
It is
Yes,
Norfolk,
okay.
and which makes it actually a waterfront campus. So when I was Googling,
Ooh.
it's actually kind of interesting where it sits because it is you don't think of Old Dominion being something that would be waterfront.
Is there like a river or like a bay separating the two sides of the campus? Because if not, I
I
don't want anything to do with it.
No, I think they actually
You have
just
to
were
take
like,
a
hey,
fucking gondola to
yeah,
get from
like
east
a
to west
ferry.
campus.
Yeah. People are just on the foot ones, like the foot
Yeah,
gondolas,
you're
like
right.
just pedaling
Exactly.
their
The
way
little paddle
across
boat. Yeah.
campus. No, but they did have something that they, so this is also just a tangent. I think I did I bring this up last week, Mike, about my unlock with subscriptions, like streaming subscriptions.
No.
Okay. Well, I had a bit of an adult unlock when it comes to adult subscription streaming subscriptions.
Adult
So
streaming
I know I
subscription.
shouldn't have said adult. Adult's not what I was getting at there. Just
Go on.
streaming. So listeners, remember when we talked about that shot and then the beers? It's hitting me more than just being able to say rivalry. Um, so no, so I pay for all the streaming services beside one. So yeah, I pay for your Netflix, Hulu, whatever it may be. But the one that I haven't paid for is Apple TV,
Oh, we did. Yeah,
and
you did
it's
mention. Yeah,
stunk
yeah,
because
yeah.
there's
You're ripping
yeah, that's what I
through.
thought.
You're
So
ripping through everything. Yeah. Right.
I'm ripping through Apple TV, and I highly recommend if you are similar, where maybe you've ditched cable and you're on streaming services, even if you pay for all of them, don't take one away for an extended amount of time, and then it's like candy, right? Because it's, oh my gosh, like they have like three shows and you can binge, because everyone kind of gets to a point sometimes where you've already watched everything,
Yeah.
and then you kind of get bored with things. But one of the shows that I've been watching, that I've been wanting to watch on Apple TV and I've started, is called Silo, and it's just another sci-fi. Rebecca Ferguson, it's fantastic. But one of the things they talk about is Relic, so it's just kind of set in a I assume America, but just 140 years from what we would consider modern time, and they call anything from that past era relic. So like a Pez dispenser has been a tricky like relic that people don't know what it is. So I say all this to say Old Dominion has a relic of their own, and they call it the Maglev relic. So they once had, or was going to start to build, a magnetic levitation transport project. So just like a train, like a subway, like an
Yeah.
elevated subway, like Chicago, but it was going to be magnetically levitated, not just like
Yeah.
train tracks. They never finished it, but they still have major pieces of what started just hanging out on campus. So it's supposed to be something that transported
Oh,
people
I
across
get
the
it.
campus.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
WVU has one.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that it's a maglev, but
Okay.
it's like exactly the same. It's actually engineered by the same people. I don't know. Don't fact check me on this, but I believe, because WVU, other than like being pyromaniacs and like heavy drinkers, they also have an excellent engineering school, and I
Of
believe
course
that
they
the
do.
people that built this on campus at WVU built the same system for Disney World,
Yeah.
like their whole transpo system. Yeah.
Interesting. Well,
Yes.
I went to such a small school that would have been a laughable thing, being split by anything. But yeah, so it's just an interesting thing. So they have this like partially elevated segment over a part of campus. I think a lot of it was there for a while, and I think a lot of it was removed because they realized they just were never going to finish the project, and it was just this eyesore. But there still are a few pieces there, which is odd.
That's wild. Yeah, that's what,
They,
what I don't know. I mean, I don't know how big what's their enrollment?
I don't even
Like
know.
what's the square footage of their campus? Like do they really need a maglev? That seems a bit aggressive.
I mean,
I would
let's see
also
here.
not, knowing the school, I would not think that they would have something like that also on their campus. Um, I don't know how many I want to say,
23,000 total
oh,
enrollment,
That's
including
pretty high.
18,000 undergrad.
okay.
All right, that's pretty high.
Campus size. Yeah. Look at this Google here. Yeah. So it's, let's see if it's a big one. 251 acres.
But like,
I
okay,
don't
so
know what
that's
that means.
big. But
Okay.
but
Like, I don't know what
like,
that is in comparison. Let's see what JMU is for comparison, Marin. Okay. Well, yours is 721 acres,
Mm,
which is why you split it in half between a highway. So
yeah.
just give you a little bit of a reference
but
there.
like, yeah. I mean, okay, maglev. All right. I mean, Morgantown's like super hilly, so like it makes sense to have something that can take you mass transit down to other parts of Morgantown. But like that's a bit ambitious, but okay.
I do wonder. So one thing I tried to find some pictures. That's the only reason why I didn't like really want to talk too much about the waterfront because I couldn't find any good pictures of
Mm,
campus, which seems like a missed opportunity because anytime you'd say, "Oh, it's a waterfront," like look how pretty our
yeah.
campus looks.
Well, but
That kind of
Norfolk's like, like
right. I was gonna say it's probably not like you can't really get in the water, so I'm sure they don't like
yeah,
highlight it as they should.
yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe there are some
I
parts
mean,
that
Norfolk has beaches, and there's a whole naval base
who the
there.
fuck
So,
wants to see him?
yeah, I walked right into that one.
From one of our favorite movies, Snatch. It's been a while. That was
England
one of the
has
only times I get
beaches.
to say that out of context. But all right,
We've got it.
University Village. They also have a University Village, which is a vibrant
Oh,
mixed-use development combining retail,
oh.
residential, a arena and a convention center, as well as some art venues, some dining, and it kind of bridges um, the divide of campus and the community in Norfolk. So it trying to combine both of them. So it brings people that aren't necessarily students onto campus, which I guess can be a bad thing if you think about it, but also kind of a good
Yeah.
thing. Depends. They also have Rain, the ODU mermaid. So students often in alumni celebrate Rain, which is the mermaid mascot adorned with a crown, and it's located on campus. And it's part of Norfolk's larger Mermaids Around Town like art exhibit initiative to try and bring, I guess, a whimsical connection to it being a waterfront
Ah,
campus.
yes. When I think of Norfolk, I think mermaids.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just the Virginia beaches in general. Yeah, that's where my head goes.
maybe you should.
I guess so. Okay, now I will. Now I
And
will.
and now we're gonna get to something unique, and it's a beloved yet quirky tradition called ice cream and cake. So, Mike, why don't you click
I
that
know what it
link
is.
because I don't know that I can really like describe it as well as you can probably after watching what this is.
Okay, hold on a second. I guess let me mute. Since twice in a row you're hitting me with videos. I
I know.
hope that this is as good as the last one. So
Well, you got another video later on,
yeah.
so
Oh,
we're muting for if this were ever to be like a wonderful podcast that gets taken up, this is kind of us not putting ourselves in trouble with maybe copyright things. So Marin, you're just gonna have to rely on Mike and listeners on Mike's just lovely description of what he's saying, and if Marin, you're seeing his face, um
I'm very interested because I listened to last week's episode too, and it's interesting just listening to it and not like seeing the videos and just hearing what you two say back and forth about it. I think it's more entertaining that way, personally. Oh, this is going to be good. Just based off of his face. Well, and covering his face too.
Yeah, so the people that watch on YouTube, you're obviously able to see Mike's face if you're listening on Spotify. I mean, technically, you can watch
that's
the video if you
57
like, but
seconds of my life I'm never gonna get back. That's what in the world was that? So I'll describe it. I encourage people to go and actually I don't. You can if you'd like to waste roughly a minute of your life. It's just their student body sings this song, uh, ice cream and cake, ice cream and cake, and they got this stupid dance where they just put their hands up and down. Has nothing to do with ice cream and cake. They're not mimicking eating at any point. Um, that's what why do they do that, EJ? why why is that a song? Why is that a thing? How did it come to be? I have so many. Why is it so prevalent? And everyone knows the ice cream. There was videos of student sections at basketball and football games, kids outside the school doing the ice cream and cake. Everyone knows the ice cream and cake. Why? Why do they know the ice cream and cake?
Um, that's okay. So that's interesting that you ask me this,
Did you
because
think I would not? Did you think everything you know about me, all your years of friendship, I'm not gonna have a lot of questions about the ice cream and cake situation? I was just gonna be like, oh, that's something. Move on. No, I need to know more about this phenomenon.
yeah, you're gonna love this this explanation. So the tradition comes from the song and dance "Ice Cream and Cake" by the Buckwheat Boys,
Nice,
um,
of course.
which is the same group that did the Peanut Butter Jelly Time.
I thought so. It
Oh,
makes a lot of sense
okay.
because the rhymes, the their vibe is very similar to peanut butter and jelly time. Wow. So these guys, the Buckwheat Boys, they're just all food themed. And Buckwheat also, okay. So they're just a food themed band. And that's the type of
What's
stuff
the
they
next
come out
hit?
with.
Peanut butter and jelly. What's the next one, dude? Ice cream and fucking cake.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that.
That was
So
something.
wait, to be clear, do they, so there's like, they don't get to eat ice cream and
Oh
cake
no,
after
no,
this at all?
they're just
Okay.
dancing. They're just
Okay.
it's a lot like up high, down low, and then who the kid with the ice cream cake? You the kid with the ice cream cake, like at one point, and it's just it's
Hey guys, we have no cake
uncomfortable.
or ice cream origins that are significant in Norfolk, or on Old Dominion's campus. You're gonna get a kick out of this, Mike. This is like to them what like Enter Sandman,
This is
Jump
their jump
Around,
around, their Enter
right?
Mhm.
Sandman, their
Yes,
Dixieland Delight. This is
yes.
their Sweet Caroline. They said, "Give me the Buckwheat Boys." Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, all right, yeah. I'll
That's
see
a
your Neil
choice.
Diamond. Yeah, I'll see your Neil Diamond. I will raise you. I will raise you the Buckwheat Boys. Okay, all right. That's
And the last thing here is Skipper, which is their game day cannon. They named their cannon, which is actually kind of cool because I feel
that.
like more cannons should probably be named. So at every football game, ODU fires Skipper, a cannon used during the pregame ceremonies and after each score,
I want to
which
fire the Buckwheat Boys out of Skipper into into the waterfront at Norfolk. That's I'm never
So
gonna stuck in
I
my
will
head.
also say JMU also has a cannon that the ROTC also shoot off after every score as well too. So odd similarity there between
Yeah, how
us.
about that?
do
Yeah.
you have a
We
name
don't have
for
a
it?
cool, we, not to my knowledge and not to my Google knowledge either when I was trying to look up things. So I guess that's a one up they have on us, but
Do you guys have a
interesting.
dance to the Buckwheat Boys' third hit, Spaghetti and Meatballs?
No, we just like sing our fight song also
Oh
after we
God, how
score
lame!
too. Like
How
God,
fucking
how
lame!
lame.
we're
Ice
gonna
cream.
need to work on that though, apparently.
No, you're good. Ice cream and cake's gonna be stuck in my head for forever now. Oh,
Now I'm gonna be singing. I haven't heard the song, but now I have the tune to Peanut Butter Jelly Time, but now with ice cream
it's
and cake
very
in my head.
similar.
And
Very similar.
Well, Marin,
okay.
if you know what, I feel like I'm at work here. Let me just drop this in the chat here, and you can watch at your own leisure, just so you have an idea of what those
Oh,
rivals do.
okay.
Okay.
I will definitely make sure I do that.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the history of the rivalry before we finally get to the crowning jewel here that we have, the trophy. Okay. So both schools began sports competitions in the early 1970s, both as former Division II in-state opponents. The competitions intensified when both schools competed as full members of the Colonial Athletic Association, following ODU's move to the conference in 1991. This undeclared in-state rivalry would last just over 20 years before ODU relocated to Conference USA in 2014 to be a member of the FBS. JMU remained in the Colonial Athletic Association as an FCS member. It still competed with ODU outside in sports outside of football. But in 2022, both teams were both elevated. I guess in this case, JMU elevated themselves to the FBS, and they are now conference foes in the Sun Belt, or as we like to call it, the Fun Belt Conference. So, Old Dominion and James Madison's football programs began competing in 2011. Again, once ODU joined the Colonial Athletic Association, and restarted their football program in 2009. So they had been without a football program, which is a lot why this rivalry has been more of a recent one, even though they had played each other in other sports. Then, oh,
sorry.
Go ahead.
If you're a recruit visiting Old Dominion, how do you see the ice cream and cake thing and go, that's where I want to go to school?
Is this the bucket? Is this the bucket all over again? Have we gotten to 5 years before you've just been
I can't get past it. I cannot understand. Like, you're visiting, it's like, what's this thing that
okay, Mike?
It's like,
great question. However, I will raise you another question. How in the world, even as a parent, you and I are parents,
yeah,
right? And how could you go to the freshman orientation at the cult known as Texas A&M and feel good about leaving your kids there after what they have to? Marin,
No,
I don't know. We always talk about it on here as the cult. I encourage you to look at what A&M does as just a university. It's cultish, and I feel like that's up there, right? 100%. And they have this weird freshman initiation where like your parents are there and they do this weird like what's the
Rebel Yell?
Rebel Yell. That's what. Yeah, I couldn't remember what the yell is, but they do this just weird thing, and it's fine if you do it at football games, I guess. But like, it is like just ingrained into everything they do at Texas A&M, and it's just it's creepy. And so I feel like it's the same thing. So if you were, which one's worse?
Oh, Rebel Yell. That's the worst thing in all of college. Like that, without a shadow of a doubt, it's Rebel Yell. But like, this is like so corny. Like, the thing about Rebel Yell is that like I watch that and I just like cringe so hard. Like I get a visceral reaction. Like this is like I did cringe a little bit, but not to the extent of like grown men wearing overalls, stupid, corny jokes. Like, no, like that Rebel Yell is way worse. But this is bad. This is like, how is this a thing? How does everyone know it? The dance and just do it. Like, what is? Yeah.
I shouldn't say every, but like a lot of colleges do have like their thing or like so I feel like
what was yours?
You probably
What was yours? You go to JMU, your parents are like, I hope she's going to be okay. You're the oldest, you're the first one out of the house. You're a few hours away, not too far, but far enough. What was your weird moment at J? Like, what was your initiation at JMU? Did you have, because you're saying a lot of schools have it, but what's yours then?
Well, so honestly, I feel like it sounds lame compared to like now what you guys are saying, but so ours was learning the fight song.
That's
but
totally normal.
I know, but so the like catch with it, which like it's cool, but like when you're going through it as a freshman, you're like, oh, this just like puts a target on my back. So at orientation, they make shirts for you and it has the fight song upside down on the front of the shirt. So at games, as you're learning it, you pull the shirt out and you can read it like standing there. But it's like, you know that you're a freshman when you're like wearing it, and like each year it's like a purple shirt with white writing or like a purple shirt with gold writing, so like you can tell like what year you are like started too. So
But
it
That's
was
that
one of
hilarious.
those. I
I
mean
would argue
it's
that
like
kind
it
of rips.
fits, but
Like I think that's kind of cool. I don't think that that's super lame at all. Like I especially with it being like upside down. Like I think that's kind of sweet. Like
Unless you're the seniors and you're like, oh, those doofuses. Like you're at the
yeah,
football games and you're like, I mean, they already look young, but you're like, all right, jabronis.
yeah. Well, that's if you're a dude though. Like if
That's
you're a
true.
chick, like that's not what your thing is as a senior. You're like nice. Like so yeah, like that's yeah.
I thought you were gonna say like as soon as you walk into your freshman dorm, it's just streamers in your face. That would be
That would even
hilarious.
be fine.
Welcome, poof.
That would be sick.
Pick these up for the first football game.
That's
I don't think we really had. I think it, and again, this goes back to like what I was saying of just so we have, and I was actually one a frog, a first year orientation guide, and they are just like
Frog.
they help you unload things, they take you through orientation, but like they're very spirited, and so I think that was not like a shock, but it's like, the emotions of like you're going to college, like I'm the
yeah.
oldest, it's
Yeah.
a big day for our family. And so you have all these emotions, and then you just have like someone who's like so excited to be there and in your face and everything. So it not in like a negative light by any
Yeah.
means,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that was just kind of like your shell shock. But
Yeah.
I mean, who isn't? So I don't think JMU like has one per se,
No,
but that's like
no.
what I think of.
That shirt thing's fine. The fight song's fine.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Especially
Like
yeah,
that's what
especially if it's
normal
like
people do.
something that's at like a football game and it's everyone's gonna be
Yeah.
doing it, that makes a ton of
Mhm.
sense to like
Yeah.
have that little cheat sheet.
Ice cream and cake. Just
Mike's gonna be singing this for weeks now.
oh, it's so bad. So bad.
Um, so I had mentioned that they took so they had started competing in 2011, and then the following Old Dominion's departure from that Colonial Athletic Association, it meant that the teams took a 10-year hiatus of playing each other until they were both in the Sun Belt again. And then they not only played then, but they played in the Oyster Bowl as well after that first football season. So they played twice that year, and the Monarchs won, or the Dukes, sorry, beat the Monarchs 37-3. So it was the first time they had beaten ODU. So now, Mike, you can scroll. I recommend you. I gave you the sneak peek, but I really think you need to watch the video to actually get like a full appreciation of what this trophy is.
Yes. Oh yeah. That is that's why I said it was gonna be like the crown, like the Duke is wearing, and that's what it is. There's no like velvet, but like it is that type of a crown with like the oh God. All right, how do I appropriate? So there's a wooden base. It's a hexagonal wooden base that says Royal Rivalry with a nice gold emblem smack right in the middle. And then there is a beautiful golden crown on top of it. One of those crowns that has like the normal kind of like circular crown part. And then the big like ribbons, I get. I don't know what you call them, but like kind of like the big ribbons coming up to the center with looks like it says Royal Rivalry up there too. It's gorgeous. Okay, I'll watch this thing.
And Marin, you can check the chat so that you can see as well. I'll
Fabulous.
put it there for you.
Oh, is this a this
Mm-hmm.
oh Royal Rival the thing at the top says Royal Rivalry Challenge JMU ODU purple and blue. Oh, this is sick. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, we like that. Good zoom in. Yep. Like that. Wow. They gave it the Brian Kelly LSU treatment where it spins around in a neon room. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Yep.
I would just also like to point out that the like, I don't know, the gold part of it is also like on the JMU Duke crown, it like mimics that. And also I
Yes.
know on ODUs they have the exact same thing too. So it makes sense that it's like formed like that too. So,
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
but
that was the piece that I was gonna just bring up. Marin was a great point. Is it's not only a crown on the Dukes, but it's also a crown on the Monarchs lion as well. So
Oh, gotcha, gotcha, gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha, gotcha.
yeah. So the trophy was first awarded in 2023. So they played each other for the first time in 2022. Decided that they should have a trophy in 2023,
Love that.
and JMU won that game 30-27. And then JMU also won last year 35-32. So very close games. And unfortunately for Old Dominion, they have not had a chance to take home that trophy yet. But they will get another chance this year in October because again, they're conference rivals. They're even not only in the same conference, but the conference is split into East and West, which makes a ton of sense because a lot of the West schools are like Louisiana and like Central Time Zone, Texas. So yeah, it makes sense that they'll be not only conference but division rivals. So this is a rivalry that will continue to happen. And it's also an in-state rivalry, which makes it fun as well. So my question to you, Marin, then, because you would have been there when they did play. Oh, I don't know if the game was at James Madison. I guess I could probably look. But you were there when that football game got rebooted, and then I'm not sure if maybe ODU had a club field hockey team that you would have played. But what was your thought when I first kind of asked you about like a rivalry? One, who would you consider? I know I'm all over the place with the question. Two-part question. Who would you consider your main rival at JMU? And I would say maybe large sports, but then if you want to take it personally to club field hockey as well. And then two, like what's your feeling on Old Dominion as a university? Like, was it a school that you guys just didn't play enough, or you did play and had a rivalry while you were there? Enlighten us.
so I love all of these questions because yes, I do have opinions on all of them.
Okay.
So when you first asked me about this, I was like, oh yeah, I guess that like makes sense. Like JMU, ODU. I mean, like you're fully correct. Like in-state, rivalry. I mean, there are a lot of schools in Virginia too. So I mean, it is always fun, and especially like coming from Northern Virginia, like there are people that went to schools all over the state too, and even like from high school too. So it is always fun to like have banter back and forth between, people that it's like, oh, well, you went to this school, you went to this school. So I was like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. But I think you asked a follow-up question of in the text and now of like who I think a rivalry is. And I will say ODU is not who I would have said. Appalachian State or App State was who I would probably say. I know when I started at JMU, they were coming off of a really big rivalry back and forth. I'm not quite sure fully the history of App State and JMU with JMU winning the 2004, excuse me, national championship. But I think that there was something there. So it was kind of something like I walked into. But I will say, actually, so I think was it college game day in 2023 that JMU played App
App
State
State,
because
yeah.
that's when JMU
Yeah.
was undefeated that
And then they
season.
lost to App State. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes, thank you for reminding all of us, Mike.
yeah. I bet on JMU to be so
I
yeah.
mean, like that was like truly that was supposed to be our season. I mean, we were
Yeah.
undefeated and it was like and some of the schools we played, I truly can't remember off the top of my head. I just remember being like these are not, these small schools. I mean, like we were really like making a name for ourselves and like making it onto ESPN and everything and like I mean, for, a school like JMU, it's like, we're not a Texas or Alabama, like our names aren't usually heard there. So that game also really like secured a nail in the coffin there for also having a rivalry with App State. Um, but it does make sense with ODU and also them being in an conference, school for a rivalry. So I would also agree that they are a sense of a rivalry too. I know like Richmond, we kind of have had some rivalry with them when we were in the CAA before as well, but I feel like we became a little bit more of a dominant school, so it wasn't as much of a competition. I shouldn't say that because they did come to show up and play. But
You can just say it.
so
It's
it's
fine.
just interesting
Yeah,
with
it's
that. I
fine.
mean, I do love that there is, a trophy that goes with it. Now, I will say, personally, for field hockey, that is a loaded question. But I'm just kidding. It kind of depended on tournaments, but there was one tournament that we were playing in up at University of Maryland, and for club sports, different colleges would host tournaments, and sometimes they were bigger, sometimes not. But you would have to play in certain amount of tournaments to make it to the national championship, which we did win my sophomore year, I will say. But I want to say my sophomore or junior year, we were playing at Maryland, and we had to play an extra game Saturday night to make it to the playoffs on Sunday against Delaware. And we ended up losing to them off a complete bullshit call. And we were so pissed. And then of course, we're just like beyond pissed. And, we go to a store to, get beer. I think it was my junior year then to, go drink our sorrows
Sure it
away.
was.
And I don't know. And who walks in the door is all of these Delaware girls that are like, we're celebrating. So sorry for anyone that likes Delaware, but I just field hockey wise, no, thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm out on the Blue Hens. So yeah,
Yeah.
dead
So
to me.
yeah. So but no, I mean I think that I love that JMU has a rivalry with
Hey, I know
Top
it's
ODU.
word.
tricky. It can get
Top
you.
I
word.
know. Well, I'm not even
Get you.
drinking, so I'm not to blame.
It's a tricky
Um,
one.
Yeah, it is. But I think it's fun, and I think I love the trophy, how it's a crown because it like fits both schools and
Yeah.
everything, and it's in state. And I'm interested though to see like I don't know more drumming up, interest in it and everything
Yeah.
as the years continue to go on
Yeah.
too. So
So what you're saying is that this intense rivalry between Appalachian State and James Madison, which are now conference foes officially, maybe
mhm.
they need a trophy to signify. You have some mountains there, right? They're both mountains.
I think you have
Yes.
something good there with like App State because they're the Mountaineers too, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
I
Hmm.
think you have something good there with like, blue collar Mountaineers, Dukes, royalty. Like
Hmm.
you can do a little something there. I think
Hmm.
that can play pretty well. I'll have to think about that.
No, but that's interesting. So I had a feeling, just given the fact that they that the schools haven't played each other very often. You do have like a pretty big difference in like where these schools are located too, right? Like, Northwest Virginia and then Southeast Virginia is about almost as far away as you can get
Yeah.
from each other, which is interesting. But yeah, so that's something. So this was again like not only does the crown look fantastic, um, but we do try to take into account like the rivalry itself when we're talking about these things, and it's definitely a hope even for me that this becomes more of a rivalry game, and especially since JMU is good, and even in this post Signetti team has still been very good. These games have been close, and you don't think of Old Dominion, although they do usually get like Virginia Tech or someone, don't they? They always
Yeah,
end up beating
they're
someone
like
at the beginning of the year. Now that I think about it,
they're kind of pesky, but then they're
yeah, they're
also like
pesky.
sometimes
Yeah.
they're just like dog water, like that's most of the time I think about them there. Yeah, so
um. All right. Well, let's get to the rankings here then.
or,
That's all.
or
That's all we
well,
got for you.
are we doing the rankings? Or are we gonna
Okay.
do the new game?
Okay,
the new segment, right?
let's do it.
Because I mean, you know, yeah, we can. I think with the rankings, what we've seen is that, great looking trophy. Maybe we can talk for a minute about what we would potentially change. I have some thoughts.
Okay.
But
Well,
rivalries
actually,
not that
why
deep.
don't we do? Would you rather? Oh, what is this called again officially? Do we have an official name for this?
Oh, stop when you see something
Stop.
better. Yeah.
Stop when you see something better, because then that will then drum up what would we change.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right.
Marin, we want you to join as well.
Yes.
I think
Stop.
both of us should do this.
So this game we're in is stop when you see a better trophy. So I am going to show some just like the kids do on the TikTok, right? Stop when you see a better whatever. This is sad,
Kids.
but it's much more low tech. Okay. First up, the Black Diamond Trophy. I tried to go with Royal, having not seen this Royal Rivalry, and it also helps that this is between West Virginia Mountaineers and Virginia Tech Hokies. So stop when you see a better trophy. Is this better than the Royal Rivalry Trophy? Knowing everything about it.
Hmm.
I'm gonna keep going. For
Okay.
me,
I was gonna
me
say I
personally,
personally don't think so.
I would keep going. I really like this trophy. I think it's cool that they did it, but much in the same way, uh, that I- like ODU and JMU, maybe not the biggest rivalries right now. I feel like West Virginia and Virginia Tech also not the biggest rivalry right now, and I like the Royal Rivalry Trophy. Looks a lot better. So, EJ.
Say fuck me, right? Like usually this question's asked to me and I don't even get an answer here. It's already just a move on.
Well, we gotta move on. But would you have stopped here?
I would not have stopped, because really what bothers me. So a reminder for the listeners, they have like, I got this wrong last time. This is a hexagon, right? At least a hexagon. We'll call it maybe an
I think this is
octagon.
gonna be an octagon. Yeah,
Okay. But the base
one, two,
itself
three.
is so where the Royal Rivalry has like a wooden base. This one's looks cheap. Like when you
Yeah,
get like the high school trophies that have like the little shimmer like
yeah,
on it, it has that. And then I what I do like is the black diamond is unique, and it's cool that
yes,
they bring that uniqueness to the mining towns. Well, I guess I assume Virginia, like Blacksburg, is. I've never been. Obviously, West Virginia in general is known as that, but I think that's cool. But I think they just missed the mark on what it looks like. They have that weird circular, I assume it's glass. It's probably might be plastic that's kind of
yeah.
circling the black diamond. So I agree. I would not stop here, but
All right, we'll keep going.
okay.
The next one, very topical
Ah,
because it was
jeez,
played
of
this
course.
weekend. The War Drum between Kansas and Mizzou. And it was featured very prominently in the broadcast, both on
Mhm.
game day and on the game broadcast. It is a just a big drum, like a bass drum that the band plays, and one side has Mizzou, the other side has Kansas on it. EJ, your thoughts first. Would you stop here? Would you keep going?
Okay, so this one's tricky because
Mm-hmm.
it's
It
two
is.
sides of the coin. It's an intense rivalry
It
that
is.
matters, and the drum is so prominent to the rivalry, but it's a drum.
Mm-hmm.
It's about
Right.
as basic as you can get.
That's right.
And so I think the Royal Rivalry crown is a much better looking trophy. It probably ties better to the schools, which maybe it's a layup, but hey, sometimes you just need to hit the layup, right?
Yeah.
But clearly not the intensity. Question mark, because Marin, you weren't there with the trophy, whether or not the trophy is something that like the Duke's students and everyone like takes pride in having. That's a bit of an unknown for us. So I would say from a rivalry standpoint, definitely stops here, but from like an aesthetically, like the trophy itself, I would say move along is
Yeah.
how my thoughts. Marin, what do you think?
I would also have to agree. I mean, I think thinking about it as like a trophy, I do think it is really cool that it's a drum. I mean,
Yeah.
that's because it's like you get to be loud and proud at the end,
Yeah.
and that's what you want. So, Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like I would almost think that there like should be like a trophy on top of the drum too to like make it more like a distinguish between like an actual drum and it's a trophy. So I agree with EJ. I mean, I think it is like cool, but trophy wise, I would probably keep going too.
Yeah. It's unique. It's an intense rivalry, but ultimately that crown is pretty sick. So we'll keep going.
Yeah.
The Victory Bell, UNC and Duke, one of the many Victory Bells we've talked about. This one is the rideable Victory Bell for those that remember. Yeah, I chose this one because North Carolina is very close to Virginia. So yeah, that's pretty much the reason. EJ, would you stop? We have one more after this. Would you stop at
Damn.
Victory Bell?
Damn.
I know
I mean, that's the point, right? The point is not to make this an
it's
easy
not easy.
decision. Um, okay. So again, it's like you're talking about in-state rivals, and while they're not known as being intense football rivals compared to obviously basketball, the schools just hate each other, right?
Mhm.
Regardless of the sport. And while the Victory Bells themselves are at times a bit a dime a dozen, the fact that they can and do ride on this um base that they have it on, right, that has wheels and even a spot for it's usually cheerleaders, right, that sit on it if I remember correctly.
Yep.
That makes it really cool and unique. Again, like as far as what it looks like, it's not quite the crown. I really wish, and I'm gonna assume you can't take the crown off that base. If you could, that would make this
Oh, that
like
would
a
be a big difference.
million
That
times
would
better.
that when we talk your foreshadowing improvements.
I
Yeah.
mean, I was gonna say, truthfully, like the video that I sent you, and this is just like a snapshot of that video, is like the pictures. That's it, because it's so new and apparently, whatever student newspaper in Harrisonburg is not, taking pictures of this trophy on the field as it should. Um, so for I don't know, I do like this Victory Bell though because you can ride this thing and they
Hmm.
ride it and make noise.
Hmm.
Um, it might stop here for me.
Okay. Okay. Maureen,
Lauren,
would
what
it
do you
stop
think?
here for you?
This is also tough because I think it is cool that you can ride it. I mean, um, I don't know. Just for fun, I'm gonna say I would probably keep going only because I mean, I like how the schools like emblems and everything are painted and like you can sit and write on it, but I almost feel like underneath the bell there needs to be like something, and I don't know if it's like the plates of, who won it, what years, or if it's I don't know, something like underneath it just to like add a little something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, no, I'm actually gonna keep going too, because I this crown is we've been doing this for a while now. I haven't seen any other crowns. I think it's super
Mm-mm.
unique,
Yeah.
and I do think it's a rivalry that will continue to grow as they're in the Fun Belt. And yeah, I think that at least one of these schools, JMU, is someone who I think has a really good football tradition, and also Duke and UNC, I just don't get up for ACC football.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
no, the last one that was a bit of a buzzsaw. We're talking the
Don't do
Royal
it.
Rivalry. We're talking Crown Jewels. So we're gonna go with the Jewel Shillelagh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's uh that's a bit of a buzzsaw there. So Notre Dame, USC, wooden shillelagh emblazoned with gems of a Trojan or a Shamrock for every victory. Yeah.
So with this one, And it's because of Notre Dame. They have too many fucking shillelaghs. Like because it kind of and it's
But this is
unfortunate.
the
I was
shillelagh.
gonna say this is the crown jewel of shillelaghs, um, and not only is it just like super expensive and gaudy because not that South Bend is, but then you throw in Los Angeles, where USC is located, as the extra component of it. But uh, I mean, it is cool that it's a shillelagh, although that has nothing to do with USC. But what would you call those? Like, I don't want to say pendants, whatever the
They're pins, I guess, because like you
pins.
stick them in. Yeah,
Yeah, I think those are cool because not only are they shaped like shamrocks, if they are or three leaf clovers, excuse me, or is that what a shamrock is?
Shamrock, same
Okay,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
um, with a gem, a green gem in the center of it, that's placed on the shillelagh. But then you have a Trojan helmet. And do they have a
Ruby.
red one
Yeah,
for?
there's a
Yeah,
ruby. Yep.
yeah, a ruby, which is so cool. It's obviously very famous. The rivalry itself is famous because there's been really good teams over the years, and the games have been um, had national championship consequences most times. And it's just cool because like shillelaghs themselves are really cool and unique. It's just kind of unfortunate that there's like three, I believe, that we've talked about. Although this is definitely the best one, but
Yeah.
yeah, if they this is smart. Mike, I really appreciate the time and effort you put into this segment, because there's a lot of upgrades coming from the shillelagh that probably should be put onto the Royal Rivalry
Yes.
trophy.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, I would definitely 100% stop here for me. Marin, what do you think?
So you do make very valid points on all of that. And I will say I
Is she
do
gonna coach Corso us right now?
I do I like the
So
attention to
fast.
I do like the attention to detail here with like the shamrock and the helmet and the jewels and everything. But as you were like explaining your thinking, EJ, I was like, if you think about like royalty, like you always think of a crown. Like that's always like the symbol or like what they wear to like signify it. And it's like, how do you beat a crown?
Yeah.
Like it's hard, but like I mean, and again, I know I'm coming in like biased of all biased here, but like how do you beat a crown though? I
You know
mean,
how you beat a crown is with the shillelagh. You smash
You
it
literally get
into pieces
beaten.
with the shillelagh. That's, I mean, the most Homer pick of all Homer picks. This is the jewel shillelagh. Like you gotta stop it here. Like it's the only thing I will say where you almost had me there for a minute is that like, and EJ, you made this point. The shillelagh works perfectly for Notre Dame. It means absolutely, it has nothing to do with the USC Trojans. That's the only reason why whereas the Royal Rivalry and the crown that it has obviously is perfect. It matches exactly the crown the JMU and the Monarchs have on their mascots. But buddy, it's the fucking Joel Shillelagh. Like it's just
Marin, you gotta say it now. You gotta say
yeah.
not so fast.
yeah, I know. I see what and I understand like you guys kind of go much deeper on some of these, trophies and the history and everything, but yeah, I mean, you can't beat a crown.
Well, let's talk about ways that this crown could be improved upon. So one, obviously, I don't know if you can take this thing off the base and wear it. It doesn't look like you can, but if not, that's a big miss. Um, I wouldn't mind some more ornateness. It looks like they have is I think those are fleur de lis
Yeah,
that they have on the part of the crown. That's pretty nice. I'd
yeah.
like to see some type of design going up to like really kind of posh it up. And I wouldn't mind a bigger wooden base for it to be on. Like this is probably good for now, especially as it's just starting. And I assume they'll start putting plaques on there of like the team that won and stuff like that. Um, so like that would be that something I expect them to start doing. But make it a little bit taller, like I
Sure.
like like bigger trophies, but at least yeah, let's at least be able to take this thing off and wear it around the field. So
Marin, what would you, although you love this more than the jeweled shillelagh, is there anything else you would change to this to improve it?
So yes, I would. I did also think about this too. Also, like Mike, I think that somehow you should be able to wear it. I mean, I think that, I mean, you see everyone, whenever they have it, it's like, they're using the shovel to, dig in the middle of the ground or, whatever it is. I think that would be cool. I think also going up I'm just going to call them the rungs. I think it would be cool because, again, going back to the royalty of it all, but do like jewels, but like
ooh,
one is going to be like purple and gold, and then the next one would be, the I guess it's like navy blue, light blue, and white. I'm not 100% sure like
yeah,
what the top two colors are for you, but like
Yeah.
having that up and then like alternating it around to like
I like
really
that.
represent both and like add to it, and I mean add a little pizzazz to it,
I
if you
like that.
will.
Yeah,
I mean, I do agree, Mike, with like putting the plaques on of, each year who has won. But maybe it's like once they fill up the first rung
they'll
of
add
that base, then
another
they'll
like
like
the
add another.
yeah,
So yeah, I also kind of wish like the at the top where all of the like rungs come together, that like rivalry was like a little bit bigger because in the like crest of it is both schools' colors, which I think is again really cool. They're like bringing both aspects of the school together. I wish that was a little bit bigger so you could see it, because they did have to like slightly zoom in, and I don't know if
yeah,
that's just
Yeah.
because my eyes are getting older, but
same.
This
um,
picture is a blurry picture because, like I said, it was like someone took a still of that Twitter video, or X video.
oh.
So yeah, it's yeah, the picture itself is probably grainier than if like you were to take a picture of it if you saw it.
Well, I saw the actual video of this exact one that you
Okay.
sent, EJ, and
Yeah.
it is a pretty sick video, I will say.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, those would be my like additions to it, just to again get like give it a little more
yeah,
pizzazz and oomph to it.
yeah.
But yeah,
Okay. Here it is. I agree with everything you guys said. So I do think it needs to be wearable. It needs a little bit more zhuzh, whether it's like gems with those colors.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's stuck with the jeweled shillelagh, but it'd be cool to have maybe like a lion and a dog,
I
right?
was just gonna say, like, because on like old, like the, like on old crests, you'd
Yep,
have like a unicorn or a horse
they
or
could
a lion.
really lean into
Yeah,
that.
you could have them going at each other. That would be really good.
I think there's no way around it. I think winners of this trophy, when it's awarded, you either get hit with streamers or you get drilled with ice cream and cake. Like, I don't think there's any way around it. I think that's just
Yeah,
what has to happen
yeah.
at the center of the field. I don't care if you're in Harrisonburg and you're like the groundskeeper and you're like, what the fuck am I going to do? I have a bunch of cake and ice cream all over the field. Doesn't matter. It's you're signing up for that. If you're out in Norfolk, you're like these streamers. I cannot get them off the
So
trophy.
many streamers.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like that.
Yeah. So I,
I
I would
dig
add
that.
like some sort of like tradition when they're receiving it to be something to do with both of those traditions,
Yeah,
in addition to the actual trophy modifications you guys talked about.
yeah. One
I
tradition which is very cool, and then the other tradition which is just ice cream and cake.
Nightmare fuel for
Not
Mike.
just
He's gonna dream about this, and it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, I would agree. I like that idea. I just looked, and this season, because it's October 18th, my brother's birthday when they play, and they actually
Oh,
play in Harrisonburg.
they do.
So I'm sure that they would be perfectly fine with streamers. I wonder how they would feel about ice cream and cake, but you know.
there's 21,000 people that like see that and they're like, yeah,
I'm in.
I'm in. Sign me up.
Yeah, well, Marin, you already teased the next part of it, which is the game. So the game itself is not going to be played this upcoming weekend. It is going to be played on Saturday, October 18th. It is in Harrisonburg this year. Yeah, so this will be the sixth installment of the rivalry of the football game itself. Will be the third game for the crown. So we'll see. We'll see who wins it.
Yes, very excited for it. Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
No, so I guess before we wrap this up, is there anything else to add? I just obviously want to say thank you, Marin,
Yes,
for
thank you,
joining
Marin.
us.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure as always, and honestly, we hope to get you on the podcast a little bit more.
Hey, I loved this. This was so much fun. I mean, you two are always fun to hang out with and talk sports and banter back and forth with. So, yeah, let me know. I am more than happy to jump on here. I mean, I think it would be fun if like, you guys brought, Kara and Kelly and I can bring Jimmy on and we can talk sports and we can give the female perspectives or, talk about you all and your sports betting or
Nope,
watching or
not
Yeah,
gonna-
let's talk about
we'll
that.
talk about that.
And that was a great idea. Never gonna happen.
Lost us at the end there.
Yeah.
I know, I'm kidding. But no, this was so much fun. So I thank you guys so much for inviting me and for spotlighting JMU as well too. So
Go Dukes.
yes, go Dukes.
And it's Freaky Friday time. And that'll do it for us this week. Follow us on Instagram at whiskers.whiskies. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and share. Join us in our Pick'em Challenge. You have nothing to lose. Sharing is caring. At least share your bets. Sharing is caring. But join us for the Pick'em Challenge. Most everyone had a good week this week, though. So there's still plenty of time to make up for it because we're going to have weeks like week 1. We're going to have some weeks like week 2. Join us in. And also join us next week for when we talk about the Southwick Jug. And we do our little Freaky Friday in reverse, which is why I'm doing the sign off this time. Just getting in that mindset for next time. So for EJ, I'm Mike, and always remember, too much of anything is bad, but too much good whiskey is barely enough.
Cheers, boys.